We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Israel Abanikanda, running back for Pittsburgh. Really broke out this past season, 2022. I think in this class, he's probably the best combination of like size and speed. His burst is excellent, coming in at about like 5'10 and 3/4, weighing about 216, and then running about 4.4 speed. Like really impressive stuff with how he tested, how he plays. I feel like as a runner, like his style, he's a one-cut style runner, really excels on outside zone style runs. He can do some other stuff as well, running some gap scheme, running some inside zone, but really outside zone is where he's going to make his money at the next level, ending up anywhere pretty much. Most teams run outside zone, obviously, but like in a Shanahan style scheme or like the Titans, Falcons, they run a lot of outside zone, and it just really fits his skill set perfectly. He really does a good job of just reading leverage instantly and then making his one cut and getting upfield with excellent burst and speed. Really physical as well. He can use his speed, run through some arm tackles, contact balance, play strength. It's all there. But then just seeing things, bouncing things back to the outside. I'm a big fan of his skill set. Obviously, we got no all 22. We can't do that anymore. If you saw that, I did get 2 copyright strikes. I did get them removed, thankfully, but I can't post any college all 22. I gotta stick to the broadcast view, so it won't be as good, as it used to be, but it's still something to go off of. Just really impressed watching Izzy play, and let's get right into the full film breakdown. I think this play does a good job of showing Izzy's strengths on outside zone, just quickly reading the leverage. It's some split zone action here, and then just burst upfield, bend this back, and then change up his angle as well. We'll go back, watch this a little more slowly, but they're running outside zone with split flow from this tight end right here. The whole offensive line is flowing this way, and then this tight end brings this back to the outside, and he's just reading leverage of these blocks. Just everyone has like the outside over here, outside shade. He cuts this back, instantly finds the hole, works off the backs of his block, and then he finds the cutback lane, and then still able to bend this back the other way, changing up your angles midfield while maintaining your burst is super impressive. To just beat the safety with just a changed up angle there, really impressive stuff. You can just see the burst on display. You need this to be an outside zone runner. At the next level, burst is so important. Burst is even more important than long speed. That acceleration, just hit this hole instantly once you see it. Great vision, anticipation to find this cutback lane, and then get upfield, make one guy miss just by changing up an angle, maintaining that speed. Super impressive play from Izzy. This play does a really good job of showing off his grit, his tenacity. Doesn't go down very easily. He's going to run through those arm tackles. He just gets caught up in the pile here. This is not super smooth. It's a very, outside zone, split zone again. There's not a big cutback lane. There's not a hole. He isn't able to see anything really work there. So he kind of just runs into the back of some blockers, runs through some tackles here, but he stays up, never gives up, shows off that competitive toughness. And then once he gets through that, just burst to the end zone. Another impressive play. Like to see that he can win in many different ways. It doesn't always have to be like a big hole. The first one was like a nice anticipation, find the cutback. The second play that I showed was just a huge hole and then really showed off his burst and speed. This time, no hole, and he's still able to score a big-time touchdown. You got to be able to be at least a little bit scheme versatile at the next level. You can't only run just one type of, outside zone type of runs. This time, working off the back of a pulling guard, so working on some gap scheme. Got to be able to run on like powers and counters, and then you got to be able to work off the back of these blocks. That's how it is, how it's schemed up. It's a lot more rigged, less freestyle type of runs. So just work out the back of the block. He does a great job pressing up to his blocks, and then once he presses to the blocks, he then bounces it to the outside. Now you have all the room for freedom. Once you set up these blocks perfectly, you work off the back of them, make these guys commit to their lanes, and then you bounce it to the outside. Great job setting this up, and then burst in speed to maximize these yardage. Like once he gets out here, you think he's probably gonna, these guys have angles to probably get him out around here, but he just has so much speed to pick up an extra 10 yards than I honestly would have expected him to. Example of working off some pulling blockers right here. Does a great job, patience, allowing this to be set up, and then once he sees it, he's gone. Pure speed, pure burst. He moves so well for a guy of his size. It's super, super impressive. But just watch the left guard right here. This is really what you got to pay attention to on these types of runs. Working off the back of this, he's just following him the entire way. Stays patient, presses this slightly to the outside, which gets this, defender right here to attack the outside shoulder of the offensive lineman. He knows this is going to happen just based on how his positioning right here, his leverage, and then instantly accelerates to the inside, has this vision to see it, the speed to finish this play for a touchdown. Look how much faster he is than everyone else. Like, no one slows him down this time. We saw him make a big play earlier with his speed, and he kind of got caught because he got slowed down a little bit. This time, no one to slow him down, and he's just right between three guys. Gone. Not even close. No one had a chance. Down in the red zone, you got to be able to, beat some guys. It's good constricted space. You got to be able to run through tackles. Izzy does a good job. Seeing, this work right here, these cutback lanes. Everything's flowing to this side. Faking with, the jet sweep. He's probably supposed to, follow through these blocks, but he sees this cutback lane, wants to get to it. He kind of runs into this defensive lineman. I get what he was trying to do, the process of this play, but he kind of, messes this up from a process standpoint because this guy had this leverage to this cutback, but he still is able to make up for it by running through this. That's a defensive lineman. Like, most running backs, like, you'll watch at the college level, they can run through arm tackles, run through tackles of linebackers, DBs, very easily, and so can Izzy, obviously. But running and sort of shrugging off a defensive lineman when he kind of has you wrapped up completely, this isn't just an arm tackle, like, this is a situation where he almost has him completely wrapped up with both hands on him, and he just runs through him like it's nothing, and then gets into the end zone. More outside zone, split flow runs, just burst, anticipation, cut this back to the outside. Great work right here. Like, if you're able to, maintain your speed moving on these like curvy linear planes, it's really, really impressive. Just working off the back, the leverage of his blocks right here. He sees 53, 55, the backs of them. He just wants to get through this lane. He gets skinny, picks up those feet so he doesn't get tripped up right there. And now he's just seeing the secondary, this DB right here. So he finds this lane where he bangs through, but is still able to maintain the burst, maintain the speed to still then work it back to the outside right here. This is how you work on an outside zone style scheme. You hit these lanes, you either bounce it, and then sometimes you have to then cut it back after the bounce, or you just hit through the lane, bang through, or you bend it back. But then once you get to the secondary, there's these times where you got to change up the angle, get back on track, which he does an amazing job of. And somehow the DB literally didn't even get hands on him. Like right here, this DB should at least have a tackle attempt, but he does such a great job of changing up his angle. Look at him already pointing his hips to the outside and just has speed that 27 never even touches him before he gets to the end zone. Last play that I'm going to break down. This is just a great example of his vision. You can just see it, the outside zone split flow again, and just sees the cutback lane for the end zone. This is how you win a lot at the next level. Like at college, a lot of times these guys get huge lanes and just win with, pure athleticism, pure strength, just being better than the opponent. At the next level, obviously you need those things as well, but you just win the play instantly by just having great vision. You see this cutback lane, he's already anticipating this. He's reading the flow, the leverage of the entire defense. Just look at all these defenders, outside shade, and he's seeing this cutback lane, knowing 86 is going to, cut this guy off right here, and he just sees it the whole way and just wins this play without having to do anything special. He could have been, a slower player. He could have been a lot of things, not super athletic, and he still would have scored in this play just because of great vision. So yeah, that's something that's very, very important. Got to be able to process the blocks, read leverage of defenders, and Izzy does a great job of that, especially on those outside zone runs. So really looking forward to where he ends up at the next level, because he could really, I feel like as a day, he'll probably be a day 2 back if I had to guess. That size, that speed, being able, like outside zone work, a lot of teams really, really value that. So I think he's going to be a day 2 guy for a running back, which is pretty good. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, 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 peace.